Hey guys! Thanks for joining me again for another Pixie Talks review vlog.
Pixie Talks, reviews and vlogs at Pixie Talks. Pixie Talks, reviews and vlogs at Pixie Talks.
Woo! Minions, minions, minions! It has been a stressful few weeks, so I have been very happily looking forward to just a plain old silly movie. And boy does Minions deliver. Let's get to it, shall we? The Minions movie. Now I need to start by saying that I am uber disappointed that there was no Minions goggle special like there was with the Despicable Me 2 movie. I'm not bitter at all. Anyways, the Minions characters have been a huge merchandise goldmine for DreamWorks ever since the first Despicable Me movie, and for good reason. They are adorable and silly and oh so hilariously stupid. And now I know a lot of people are getting tired of them because you see them absolutely everywhere now, and everything that's popular inevitably has a lot of backlash against it. But you are so wrong, Minion haters. Minions are awesome. That said, I wasn't entirely sure myself how well the Minions were going to be able to carry a film on their own, so while I was excited about the silliness promised by this movie, I was also a little bit hesitant about how good it was going to be. The film is about the history of our little yellow guys and their continual quest for a villainous master. It follows them through ancient times as they mess up and accidentally kill Big Bad after Big Bad until they throw in the towel and create their own civilization. But it's a hollow decision, as after a time they feel listless and depressed without a great villain to lead and command them. So Kevin, Stuart, and Bob trek off on an epic quest to find the best boss for their clan. Okay, now as many people have pointed out, there is an inherent problem in having set up the Minions as having worked for all the evilest bosses that they could find throughout history. Because although it is never implicitly shown, there is no escaping the fact that they must have at one point worked for Hitler and Stalin and other of the world's worst sociopaths and had a hand in some of the biggest atrocities in history, and that is kind of uncomfortable. Although they are rather incompetent, so you could argue that they couldn't have worked for anybody who was actually successfully evil. Either way, it is a goofy premise until you actually dissect it, so we're better off not. Now, as for how good of a movie this actually ends up being, well, your mileage will vary based on your tolerance and enjoyment of pure silliness. I've seen a lot of very negative reviews. This movie is getting ripped to shreds by critics, and honestly, I think it's a little unfair, and I question if these people, understood what movie they were seeing. Look, this isn't a masterpiece of great art or anything, but it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be pure silly fun, and to be honest, it hit that nail rather well. I was worried that the Minions would get obnoxious as the stars of their own film, but there was only one joke in the entire thing that I rolled my eyes at. The humor worked ludicrously well for me. It was never tiresome, and it was certainly never boring. They had some really great co-stars, Scarlet Overkill, of course, being more or less the main non-Minion character. She was fantastically over-the-top bad and tore up the screen in every scene she was a part of. But honestly, my favorite character was Herb, her ridiculously suave inventor husband. Herb was amazing, and their relationship gave me a wonderfully goofy Gomez and Morticia Addams kind of vibe.
You frightened me. Do it again.
Other side characters were just as delightful, including the bank-robbing family that give them a lift. They continue to pop up brilliantly throughout the film, and the Queen of England herself. And it's good that the human characters were as strong as they were, because the pressure was on these characters to make or break the film. We already love the Minions, but their antics might not have stood on their own without interesting human characters to get invested in. But in the end, I think they struck that balance absurdly well, and poo-poo to all the critics that think they didn't. They even managed to bring out some distinct personalities in our three main Minions, and that was all kinds of neat. All in all, I felt this movie was just a whole lot of fun. It may not have very good rewatch value, and my heart goes out to all of you parents who will inevitably come to despise this movie as your kids watch it over and over and over again, but from my viewing experience, I really enjoyed it. And that's it for my review of the Minions movie! Hope you enjoyed the video. Please do be sure to subscribe for more. And next week, it's time for Ant-Man. See you then. Bye!
tutti, batti, putti.